Week 5 topic. We discussed about the word every time layout, and yet, knowing elements, principles, and the theory of design give us more tools to help guide where visuals and words should be, as well as to make the design more interesting and well communicated. We can think of the element of design as the basic unit of any visual design which convey visual messages. As a designer, we need to understand how line, direction, shape, size, textures, tone of lights, and colors can help best convey the messages. Then look at the design principles and apply them to these elements to produce focal point, contrast, balance, movement, rhythm, and unity into one design. Also, applying the Gestalt theory of proximity, similarity, continuity, and closure to help arrange the layouts flow. After reading this chapter, you can adopt these design elements and principles when modifying your own logos for your portfolio. Well, sometimes, although we have a good design, we may need to adjust it. As you see in this image, words is transformed to an image for its international presentation. I'd like you to view a short 2 minutes of Pixar video that I ran into this past week to understand the reason behind it. This video talks about how Pixar designs were altered for its international viewers.
When it comes to Disney Pixar films, we all know about the stories, characters, and infamous Easter eggs. What's lesser known is how these films are altered for an international audience. It's not just what you hear, but also what you see. Here is our look at some of the most interesting examples of Pixar adapting their films for an international audience. Let's start off with something as iconic as a film's title design. Toy Story 3, for example. Simply seeing this image probably sparks a nostalgic response for most of you. However, that image might not feel the same for someone in Russia who is accustomed to this version of Toy Story 3's title art. This is similar for about every film throughout Pixar's catalog. Let's take a look at this scene from Ratatouille. On the top of the screen, you'll see the English version, and the French version is on the bottom. Abundantly full of words, this scene is an example of how the visuals of a movie greatly differ depending on where you view it. You can begin to understand the thought and consideration that goes into creating multiple versions of every single film. Take, for example, Ellie's iconic adventure book in Up. Here are some examples of what that book looks like in several different languages. An alternative option to translation is to replace the words altogether with images, making that particular moment read more universally. The English version of Up features a money jar with Paradise Falls written on it. The international version, however, has an image of Paradise Falls instead. Rather than translating Paradise Falls into several languages, the image automatically makes it comprehensible on a global scale. This is the same treatment used in Monsters University. Rather than translating the scare games, animators replaced it with Greek letters. The same applies to Randall's Cupcakes. Faces are drawn on the cupcakes for the international version. International viewers, however, will miss out on the quick gag that you see here. What's especially interesting is when the changes you see are a direct reflection of culture. For instance, animators replaced broccoli with bell peppers in the Japanese version of Inside Out, since broccoli is widely enjoyed in Japan. On a similar note, when Riley's dad is daydreaming, the American version shows a hockey game being played. In the international version, this has been changed to soccer, since it is a much more popular sport around the world. All of this goes to show the time and thought that is invested into making Disney Pixar films unique and appropriate for viewers across the globe. Keep your eyes peeled for how the films vary depending on where you watch them.